Cool, guys. Super excited to have you back here on my channel. I hope you're all doing great. I will not show my face today. I hope it's fine. And if you don't know who I am, just check the channel, check the videos before, so you see how I look like. Yeah, good. I was asked actually from one of my subscribers on my email list to show my project, the Final Chase, the HBO Spitfire contest composition, and I will split it in many parts, so it's not super boring to watch it like for the next 37 hours, because I already tried to make it like a full run, and it took me I think like 1.5 hours, and it's just too long. So I decided I will go really section for section to section. And before we dive into the music, I wanted to talk about my template. So yeah, here I am not in my composition template. I'm here, as you see in the name, Final Chase Mixing. So I have one project that is only my composition, so MIDI files, all the sample libraries, instruments, etc. And then I have a project for mixing only. As you see, I don't have the video, so if you haven't watched my cue, you can you can do it later. I will put the link down below. If you already watched, just to know, I don't want to show it here because I'm mixing here only. Okay, I did the music before, so obviously I saw the video, etc. In the mixing stage, I really don't need to do it. And then I have a print. Basically, here I'm showing this is my print of the whole project, and this print I master it. So I show you my last bus. Here it is. So I have a couple of plugins inserted in the main output. Basically, not the main. My main is really only for like checking the frequencies, checking the dynamics, etc. So it's really only for just looking if everything is fine level wise and frequency wise. And my main bus, so where everything is combined, is called here all, or sometimes I call it all music bus. Cool. Well, I will disappear the mixing console. It's not for now. I will do it later. So the last project, I have here my my print basically of the entire mixing mixing section. And this one, I'm printing this with my final chain, and so I export it basically. Yes, and then I call it like whatever version it is. I like to keep the version number, so I know, okay, in this case, I had 4 different versions, and the fourth version is the last one. So it's the most, how do you call it? It's the most actual, no, it's the German word, but you understand, it's the last version. Okay, so when I open the last project, and the last project already have the video file, and then it has, of course, the original audio inside, so the voiceover and the sound design as a fixed stuff. And then I can only concentrate on my music against what is happening sound-wise from the original movie. So I can like run my faders, my automations. I can EQ a little bit different. It's super important for me to make it really in different projects, because I can concentrate on the really important things first, without being like overwhelmed. Okay, I have so much stuff to do. And look at this project. It's not super big, but at the end of the day, it's mixing, and I have 113 tracks. Actually, it's already a lot, okay? But if I do it everything in one project, so music wise and then mixing wise and then like the mastering final uh, section and stage, it's just too much, okay? And you lose a lot of times perspective and the overview. So it's just takes you too long, and it's not good for me, at least, okay? So you can, of course, do it how you want to do it, but this is my this is my my workflow. So I scroll. I can make it a little bit less big. Okay, so my project, my mixing project, I want to talk today, like when I export everything I have composed into this mixing project. It's easier because, first of all, it's easier on the CPU, even though I have a couple of plugins open. I don't need to show you the notes. I can do it. If you ask me, Alexei, please show what you actually played. Sometimes it's really enough to hear what is the music doing, so the individual sections or instruments, it's fine. So here I start with the strings, and as you see, I have a folder for the strings, and yeah, this is basically what strings I have used. And the cool thing is, what I really recommend doing, if you mix your own music and if you ask someone else, an engineer, to do it for you, if you're not skilled yet to do so, or sometimes, you work on different projects where already some money is involved, and it makes really sense to give your music to someone else, because first of all, maybe he's more experienced than you to mix music, and it's really fast, because people who are experienced, they have just another workflow, and it takes them not, let's say, 3 days to complete the mixing, but only one. Okay, and the second day, like, decide, okay, is it good? Do we leave it like that or not? So what I like to do is, when I imagine that I'm now in my composition template, so when I see this is my strings, Collegno, okay, and if I would open the library, you will see Albion 1 from Spitfire. And this is one of the important things I do first, even there in the template, and here of course as well. I name the tracks like the library is actually called, because every single library has a certain sound, and of course different types of instruments. And here on the mixing stage, of course, it's super important as well to know what kind of library that is, so I can instantly like, first of all, I see it. Okay, AO is Albion 1. Strings is just the string section, so I'm not specified like these are the cellos or the violins. Not really important for me at this point. And Collegno is basically the technique, the playing style. Okay, so yeah, actually I can. I will not play it back. I will play it in the next part. But you get the point. So the people, especially if other people are working with you, they already know, okay, this is the library, this is the instrument, and this is the technique. Because for every single technique, you can use different types of plugins, different types of techniques, how you apply the plugins, etc. For example, Collegno or staccato, you can apply if you need. If the staccato is not sharp enough in the transients, you can apply a transient shaper, or maybe have a different kind of compressor attack. So this is really super important because it saves you, first of all, a lot of time, and not only your time but as well the time of others, and of course time is worth money. So if you work on a project, people really like to see this structure. So I really like to do it for myself because I do it all by myself, but still I stay productive and super focused because you see, I have everything structured and I can't lose myself. Cool. So here basically we have the string section. The same goes for brass. You see as well a dio, trumpets here on the solo instruments. Albion 1 brass. Okay, um, I didn't yeah, just call it trumpets. High short, it's basically playing um, like these are the trumpets, um, but I don't name it, okay? Because the library is called Albion 1 brass high short, so I name it and I know, okay, this is brass high short. It's enough for me. So here the next one, brass. This is Orchestral Essentials, an older library from Project Sam. Great for huge section-based composing. Really effective, especially for these types of cues. It's yeah, it's really effective because you play one note, one sample, and it's already like, wow, this is Hollywood, guys. This is what people want to hear. And I find out as well during, yeah, so many years I'm doing it, it's really hard to replicate these sounds by splitting it into individual parts. So yeah, it's really tough to get the sound. And I mean, these guys are doing such a great job when they record these ensemble patches. It's insane. You just really you play one note and it sounds incredible. Um, woods, woodwinds. Yeah, I have a couple of effects and a couple of runs. This is what I really like about the Albion 1 library. Because first of all, you have the entire orchestra. You don't have a lot of individual instruments like trumpets or trombones, whatever. You don't actually need that. For these type of projects, you don't really need it because, again, if you split it to high, mid, and low sections, it's already enough to understand. Okay, these are the trombones playing with the horns, or the trumpets playing with the tubas. It won't be the case, but you get the point. It's they record what really makes sense. And if you really want to go into the detail, you will invest in libraries that yeah, just have the individual instruments. And yeah, it will of course benefit if you have specific melody lines, or just want to spread the arrangement to, yeah, just to have a specific and certain sound. Cool. And then the next one is Tutti Hits. The same, I have, it's actually a free library from Project Sam again. It's great because, again, you play one note and you have a section of sometimes the whole orchestra, sometimes only a half or just a section from an instrument section. You play one note and there is a certain effect or a certain hit. In this case, it's great. It really complements some things you actually miss in a lot of libraries, and when you combine it at the end, everything together, you have a super unique sound, which is super hard to achieve with only one library. So of course, with time, yeah, if you have a couple of libraries, you already know, okay, this is the library I like to use for this type of thing. This is the library I like to use for this type of thing. The next one, percussion. Well, I have here a couple of yeah, ensemble type of percussion sounds. So I have here AS is action strikes. I have here, I called it hit hit hit, but it's not hit. Hit for me is of course, when you have a single hit. Action strikes are actually known for loops, creating loops. And I really like when I use these types of libraries, I really like to make them still in a way unique that I change the loops here and there. So when I have a track, I don't want that somebody else instantly know, like, dude, I know this loop. It's from action strikes. It's a little bit embarrassing for me because there are so many people I hear in a lot of productions. There's so many people just buying some loop somewhere, or just use this kind of library, press one note and let this loop run for 3 minutes and nothing changes to this loop, and then the next guy, another guy, do the same and does the same, and it's not composing for me. Okay, you need, if you are a creator, so create. So even if you like use a bit crusher, you already made it something special and unique. So do whatever you need to yeah, just make it a little bit different. Don't use everything what the preset is giving you. Yeah, so yeah, we have the action strikes. We have Darwin percussion ensemble. It's from Albion 1 again. Then we have Orchestral Essentials percussion kit. I like it. It's really classical sound. It's full, but classical, really clear and clean. Yeah, really great for certain type of sounds. Then have timpanis. In the percussion kit, there are timpanis, but I really like to have yeah, just the single solo instrument timpanis, because you have certain techniques there you can apply, like the timpani rolls and yeah, hits, and yeah, it's really great if you want to go a little bit deeper inside the composition stage. Yeah, and then I have specific instruments like castanets, rainstick, shaker, xylophone, and xylophone I put it in the percussion section. It's a percussion instrument, but it's melodic percussion. However, again, if your template is not like thousands of instruments huge, and your composition obviously as well, for me, it really makes sense not to overthink the process, that I put this xylophone somewhere where it's you're on it own. So again, I don't lose time to watch for instruments that actually could be fit somewhere where I just can spend less time trying to find the instrument. So I just put it, and I know, okay, this is the xylophone, it's here. And again, I don't bother try to find the xylophone somewhere because it's not melodic or not melodic, or just you understand the point. I mean, really, try, if you have these kind of templates, not to overthink the whole process. It should be clean and clear for you how you work with this. So what I want to say, if you see, okay, Alexei, you work like this, it doesn't mean that it will work for you. Okay, I'm not saying this is the perfect layout. It just works for me, and you need to first adapt it. If you are not on the level I am, try to copy it, try to do something similar, but at the end of the day, you should reflect if it really fits your own style, personality, character. It's really kind of a mindset thing. Really like to talk about mindset, but you get the point. It doesn't mean that it will work for you instantly. Sometimes it's really great to have certain principles, but yet again, if you see after a while, no, it doesn't work, I don't like it, I don't see my instruments, I don't like the colors, whatever, why you choose white and not black. Again, I have my template. I know exactly that certain type of colors are for my percussions, for my drums, for my woodwinds, etc. So yeah, just copy it, try it for yourself, but at the end of the day, it's on you. Yeah. Then I have real drums, not in the first cue, later on, but you see it's an own group. It means that I just, if I open it here in the, sorry, I'm drinking coffee not to sleep. Where are the real drums? Let me see real drums here. So this is cool because I just grabbed this fader, put it higher or lower, and every single instrument, so the kick, the snare, etc., they're all lying on one bus, and I control the bus with only one fader. Super effective. So basically I sum every channel that is a solo instrument together in one. The same I did with the percussion section, with the strings, etc. Then I have a SFX, trailer hits, it's downers, it's a drone, it's you see, I just just name it. So I already know, okay, this is a lifter, this is a hybrid sound. Here's an orchestral ascension cluster. Here's a from the dark preset. Swells, you see. I just name it, so I'm not getting lost in my own session. Bass comes later on. Bass pulse, I don't have actually a real bass somewhere or a synth. I could have used that, but I decided to, just not to put it into this composition. Why? Because my lowest instruments are, first of all, the hits, the tutti hits, and I have some Brahms, and I have here the low octave piano or the piano. They are complementing each other, playing the same notes. But at the end, they complement each other. So the low octave is playing the low notes, so the bass, and I took it from the Albion 1 again. And piano is a giant, but it's a specific preset. I took the preset. I think it was a kind of a cinematic one, and then I mean it's a cinematic piano, but you have a lot of presets there. And I took one, and I just a little bit changed the preset, the sound, so it fitted more into my composition, into my sonic idea. Yeah, guitar pad, ARP synth, sector synth. So basically here's the other solo instrument section. Then I have a group for the trap part. I have a kind of a trap beat more to the end of the cue. Again, this is the same thing. I don't need to put this trap kick, for example, where the pulse kick is or where the rock kick is. Why? Because I compose really in sections. So you see everything here, the trap part is combined together here. So it's super effective for me because I see everything what I had here in my cue for as my instruments. They are all together and they are not spread into the whole the whole project where I need to scroll for endless amount of time and trying to find the instrument. So I like to do it this way. Yeah, and as I said before, here's my print basically of the entire mix. Again, I will not play the project from the beginning to the end here. It's just basically an overview over my template. I will put the link for the composition down below so you can hear it without sound design and without the voiceover. And if you want to watch it with everything else, I will put the link down below as well. So basically my entry. And then in the next video, I will go into the sections and show you what I did in the individual instruments. what they played, um, and yeah, how it turned out what it is today. Cool, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I try to really keep it as short as possible, just to give you really an overview, not to go super detailed here, because again, as I said, I can talk for hours showing you things, but at the end of the day, who watches your masterclass, you know, if for 3 or 4 hours? It's not the place to watch, for this kind of long. It doesn't look. Everyone here on this channel, and I know it myself, um, you could have experience for 3 or 4 years, and you have already, a certain level and a certain standard. However, there are people, of course, in my list who are super new to the whole thing, like producing, mixing, composing, audio, etc. Because I combine so many things. And again, if I try to go into the detail, I mean, someone asked me, show this session. If I go super deep inside, this person gets overwhelmed. And here, alone this, just the template for the beginner, it's huge, okay? If I think back when I started out, it was like, dude, what are you doing here? It's like, it looks like a how do you call it, a spaceship. Yeah, so it's like in a cockpit of a plane. What is this? What are the plugins? What are you doing here? People are overwhelmed, so I want to really keep it simple, talk more about the mindset stuff, how I like to approach certain things. And yeah, I hope that helps you. And again, if you have any questions so far, just leave them in the comments box down below. I will be happy to answer them, and then we just go from here. And in the next video, as I said, I will go into the sections and play the individual parts, and we see what happens then. Guys, have a great evening, have a great week, and I see you in the next video. Bye.